half article is better than thousands of Buhari.
Buhari is doing the best in Nigeria.
Presidential election.
And you're watching Dance of Democracy right here on Roots TV Nigeria. My name is Gloria ORJI-EMODI. Hey, it has been days after the February 23 general elections, and people are still anxious waiting for the overall winners. While results are trickling gradually from INEC, some people are now very, very impatient with the electoral body on the pace at which they are releasing the results. Now, could it be better? Could it be faster? What is going on? Pick up the pace, INEC, some people will say. But to talk about this and a lot more, we have Emmanuel Njoku, who is from Code. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. You observed the elections and that phase has passed. Right now, the announcements are going on. And any surprises, any doubts from what you have been hearing so far from INEC?
Well, first of all, as an organization, our part of observing the election, we don't actually focus on results.
On the results. I'm aware of that.
Focus on the processes. Yeah, so I can't really say
any result. But then let's talk about the process. INEC is taking quite a while to release the results. And some people say this is taking much longer than other years. 2011, it wasn't like this. 2015, not like this. Why is it taking INEC such a long time to announce the winner already on almost all of the electoral seats that were contested on February 23? What is going on? Tell us.
Yeah, from my view and from what I'm seeing, yeah, you say 2011, it wasn't this long. 2015, it wasn't this long. Also remember that in 2011 and 2015, we didn't have 73 political parties running for the office of the president. We didn't have 91 political parties registered and participating in the both elections at Senate level and House of Rep level. So I think the number of political parties that are involved, and then INEC going by the Electoral Act and the guidelines that guides their electoral processes.
I think it's important right now that we actually state those guidelines, because a lot of people are beginning to wonder. First of all, here are some people's complaints, I would say, or some of the views that are coming out. Almost 200 billion naira allocated to INEC for the conduct of these elections. A lot of people expected that it wouldn't be as glitched as we have seen in terms of the technology, in terms of logistics. That happened. Some people are willing to forgive, at least to accommodate some of those lapses from INEC. But now anxiety is building as people are wondering. They want to know the answers. They want to know the winners. So give us the process. Maybe it will explain why INEC is taking such a long time.
So first of all, going by how much they've spent for this election, I will say this. I think this election is one of the most prepared INEC has ever been for an election. I remind, they had a strategic plan, they had a 3 years plan, they set an election date long before the election day. But sadly, we can't say this is the best election that we deserve. But talking about the collation processes, what the law states, INEC guidelines states clearly how these things will happen. So there has to be, at the point of polling, there are different levels of collation. Okay. After polling they go to the ward level collation centers. And at this ward level, all the political parties that participated are supposed to be there for them to now put all the results from all the polling units in the long collation form. Talking about 73 political parties.
73 political parties have fielded candidates.
They fill their form EC8A. And then they take this to the next level, local government, and they do the same thing. And they check. And at the first level of the collation, they're supposed to check all the card readers at that point to be sure that the number of accredited voters in the card readers matches with the results that they're bringing for the polling units. Then from there, they go to local government. From local government, they go to state level collation before they come to Abuja. I think the biggest challenge is the number of, because I've seen the collation form. I mean, we'll see the collation form on TV.
On TV, yes.
So that's a long filling in and everything. So it's like balancing an account sheet. Everything has to tally. So it takes a lot of time. So I don't think this has anything to do with
the competence of INEC.
With the competence of INEC or the budget that was given to INEC for this election. It's about the number of people that participated in this process.
With all due respect, did they not foresee all of this? Because I don't know if they were meant to warn. No, did they not foresee the cumbersome nature of transmitting these results? For example, I mean, we had about 26 political parties in 2015. Let's use that as a basic example. And they know what they went through just to release the results about 48 hours after the elections. Now, with 3 times as much this time, or even more than that this time.
So I hear people are,
so why weren't they prepared for this?
So people are saying that at this point in time, why can't Nigeria collect electronically?
Exactly, that's the main question.
Yeah, but the law and the act also stipulates that at the point of every level of collation level, that the party agents available must sign to validate that from EC, whether it's EC 8A or 8B or 8C or 8D, depending on the level of collation level that this process is in. So we have to collect. So first of all, we need to understand that there is a lot of trust deficits in the whole process.
That makes it.
With
that
the
makes
political parties,
sense. Yes.
They don't exactly trust INEC. You know, I mean, this party doesn't trust this party, which is why INEC has put it open for every political party to be available to protect. So when you talk about protecting your votes, it happens at these collation centers where party agents available are supposed to protect their votes and sign before it moves to the next level.
At this moment, social media seems to have already declared a winner. We have a lot of observers, a lot of international organizations that were around to collate on their own, basically take a lot of information from the collation centers, from different wards, get to their own centers and collate. And you're seeing a lot of figures on social media. Interestingly, some of those figures, some, not all, some of those figures are panning out, and it's making people wonder, should we trust social media more than we trust INEC? Because, you know, right now, that is not what INEC should want, a situation where people trust a medium more than them.
First of all, by law, INEC has the full right to announce results.
We know that.
But it's okay to have idea. So different situation rooms, they have observers at different level.
Exactly.
So we can have an idea of what election will be, for instance, from a state like Igbo State, because at some point when they keep collating at the state government level. Probably out of, let's say, 17 local governments, 15 must have come. So people there reporting back to their base, their station room base in Abuja, already knows that, hey, based on 15 local government, based on 15 out of 17 local governments that has arrived, this particular political party is already leading. So you can only say, hey, based on this
projections,
so you can make projections, but then you still
don't have the exact figures.
And again, the result you see in the polling units doesn't exactly mean that's the result. That will be the end result you will see at the end of the process. Because if, for instance, at a polling unit, they declared a result, and then they come to the Ward Collation Center, and they realize that the number of accredited voters, because they have to go through all the card readers at the first level of the collation centers, which is the ward level. So when they get to that point and they check the card reader for that particular point, and they realize that the number of votes that has already been announced in the polling is where the citizens already have gone home with that result. And they check and they say that, hey, there's overvoting here, because you can't have 300 accredited voters and you're having 700 results. Automatically, that result will not stand. Exactly. It can be cancelled. So which is why INEC is only INEC that knows the whole details, and it's only the result that they are declaring that can take home.
I completely understand, Emmanuel. I'm listening to you, and I'm already feeling like my head is going through, I don't know, would I say rigmarole, just listening to all of this process. And I'm sure people watching are wondering, all of this just to release a result. So what are we doing wrong, and how can we get it right? Because in developed countries, you run an election. I mean, for example, the United States that you said you have, you know, observed elections. Yeah. Election polls open around 7 o'clock and end around 7 p.m., except for situations where you have to extend by an hour or thereabout. And by 2-3 hours, people are making projections because of the electronic voting. My question is, how do we make this better so that we don't 78, I don't know, like 98 hours after an election has been held, a week afterwards, people are still not guessing?
Again, if you go by the Electoral Act.
Ooh, there we go again.
Because that's the law.
You know why? I'm asking you, how do we make it better? The law has put us in a situation where we have to go through this rigmarole. So what do we do better?
So there's always room, that's the beauty of democracy. You know, there's always room for reforms. So we can always make reforms. And all of these complaints Nigerians are having will make, all those inputs will be seen in the reports of all the election observers, both international and domestic observers, and recommendations will be made. And those recommendations after elections, these are the things that influence electoral reforms. So we agree there is room for reforms, but so let's take America for instance, because we observed the election in the United States in 2016. It's a different ballgame. If you are from a particular county, which is like a state, you can vote from anywhere within FCT.
Exactly.
No, within AMAC, not FCT. If you are living resident in AMAC, you can vote from any point. But here, your voting is tied to a particular polling unit. And then talking about United States, a lot of them do mail voting 2 weeks before election. A lot of them do electronic. Even on the election day, when you come to the point of voting, you are allowed to choose whether you want to do the electronic voting or traditional voting. Some people say like do traditional voting. So they start collating, tabulating, sorting results
a lot earlier
2
than the
weeks
day
before.
of the
And then
election.
election starts by 7 a.m. in the United States and 7 p.m. just like 7 p.m. here. Election stops unless you're on the queue, you're allowed to vote. At exactly 7 p.m., because they've been collating and sorting and counting results in the past 2 weeks, at exactly 7 p.m., they will release the results they have so far, which in most cases is about 60 to 70% of the total votes already. So based on that, people already have an idea that, oh, this is how it's going. But if you remember in United States, their results were not complete till
about 3-4 days that we had the last, yes.
The third day.
But they were able to project in some states.
Because of how the voting pattern happened. So when we say this, Nigeria sometimes we tend to be a bit jumpy. The United States we are referring to, their results were not out till after 4 days of the election.
The final results, but they already
the final results.
They were able to make very decent projections.
Which is the same thing we're having in Nigeria now. People are already saying, based on the feelers we are getting, even at the point in the United States, the situation rooms of the Democratic Party and the Republican parties, they already had an idea based on their party agents in different states. So they were already collating at their own level, but they don't have the right to announce because it's the electoral management bodies that announce results. So that's the same thing that is happening here in Nigeria right now. People already, the situation rooms already have an idea. Sitting here, based on my relationship with some situation rooms, I already have an idea of the results that INEC is yet to announce. The results that have not come to Abuja already. Because we can see them at the state level or at the local government level where there is collation happening.
Interesting. Now, there's another aspect that has actually been, would I say, fomenting on social media. People are asking one simple question. Why is it that INEC will have to wake up and start announcing results at 10 or 11 thereabouts, and then at 6 p.m. they have to go? It's almost like they don't feel the urgency of people. Is it a day job? Is it a day job? Now, you may have explained that these recs have to come from different states and come in. So, but couldn't that be made faster? And secondly, there is another question that people have asked. 200 billion does seem like a lot of money to an average Nigerian, let's be very honest. And some people will ask, all right, we know that the distance from a certain ward could actually be about 7 hours to the local governments in places like the northern states that are really, really long. Why don't you airlift? So these are some of the questions that some people are asking. Could you? Well, some people will ask, with that kind of money, isn't it possible to airlift?
So first of all, INEC as an organization, I would say probably 90% of the work and they have to do in delivering election has to do with procurement, deployment, arrangements. I see. Then the action itself within the election day when they have, everything is about deployment. Then when you now want to, are you aware that it sounds like I'm holding brief for INEC.
It sounds a little bit like that. No. But I do know that you're pretty close to the process, so I know.
And this process, we need to put it out there for Nigerians and for the world to know. So we're talking about INEC coming out to announce. They can only announce results when they are available. And the law has not said in anywhere that if a result comes 3 days or 4 days or 6 days after the actual date set out for election, that is no longer valid.
It's valid.
But what we should be looking at is the collation processes. Are they following the set out guidelines? Have they gone against the law in any way?
With all due respect, I'm still going to say this comfortably with all the fillers and all the indications that we're getting from different parties. There will be tons of litigations even after the announcements of these results, and people are going to even hold on to the collation method as a deficiency. Some people have alleged, we don't have proof of that, maybe they can provide. Some people will say, based on the method of handling these results, it is susceptible to tampering. Like I said, we may not have the proof of that. The burden of proof will have to be for those who will use that as an evidence or a cause to go to take up litigation. So would you not say these create some lapses? It's like cooking a meal and different cooks will have to touch it at different stages.
Now, because INEC is aware of this and the trust deficits, which is why they've set out this processes from polling unit to ward collation to local government collation, and at every point in time, every political party is meant to have their party agents at every collation process to make sure that the information that they had from the polling units is the same thing that they will impute in the form.
And yet you are seeing tons and tons of complaints coming up even as INEC is announcing these results. So obviously there are lapses.
So at the end of the day, as law-abiding citizens and political parties should be, we expect that if there is at any point in time you feel that these things are not right, you seek redress in a court of law.
In the
so I don't think there is any...
And of course, the Elections Petitions Tribunal has already been set up.
I don't think there's any issue with people going to court. I mean, the United States of America, which we always look at them as like they have the best democracy, and I don't think they do, by the way. there are still court cases. There are still issues with an election that happened since 2016.
Sure.
We're going to have another election next year. They are still going round and round about the whole process of 2016. And mind you, United States, Donald Trump is it the 58th or 78th? They've had these 4 years elections for the past 243 years. 43 years. And this is
44.
This is our 44.
All right, he's the 44th.
Yeah. So this is the 7th election for quinquennial election we are having, and so I don't think we're doing badly to be
okay. So by your assessment,
and by the way, there is room for reforms. So.
Exactly, there's room for reforms,
So
and hopefully when the Electoral Act gets passed, some of these issues will be settled. For example, electronic voting and transmission, and will allow you to probably vote wherever you are. We'll make all this less cumbersome.
Yes. So that's where the work of all the observers. So like when we're training observers, we tell people that, hey, you have to go there, observe the process, and at the end of the day, INEC is totally expecting you to help them inform the reforms through what you've observed in the process. And so our job will end at the point when we put out our detailed report stating what went right, what didn't go right, and make recommendations for INEC. And hopefully
INEC will take into consideration every single recommendation that it has gotten from the observers and from different political parties that probably would make one complaint or the other, or just basically an observation. A big thank you to you, Emmanuel, for taking our time to talk to us. You have done pretty well monitoring the elections. I am sure by the other side, observing, yes, you observe, you don't monitor. We always have to get that correct by observing the elections. Thank you very much for that. All right, please, we would like your comments on the comment section of this video. What are your thoughts about the way INEC has been announcing the elections and election results and the collation of the results? Go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page while you are at it. This is Dance of Democracy. My name is Gloria ORJI-EMODI, and you are watching Roots TV Nigeria.
Half article is better than thousands of words.
Buhari is doing the best in Nigeria.